Importance of goals. As we all know, Melee is an incredibly difficult game. There's so much to learn, revise, and generally improve at. In a game with seemingly endless little details or actions to learn, it seems so hard to choose what to work at and even to know when you don't need to put any more work into it. Many players learn things only to forget them later on or for them to not have nearly as much application as they thought. I believe most Melee players don't have a great understanding at effective improvement, and that is because most of us don't have a great grasp of managing short and long-term goals. Short-term goals itself. Short-term goals are the stepping stone for the bigger picture of one's own improvement. Like the phrase, to run you must learn to walk you must learn to crawl, the short-term goals will be your guide to getting on your feet. Something that can be effectively practiced in the short term is often something that won't take too long to start seeing it pop up in your gameplay. Think a Fox grinding wave shine up smash, or Marth with pivot tipper, or Puff landing a dare grab. Many things can be focused on for not too long, the short term, for some quick results. I could say many individual short-term goals need maybe about a week, give or take, of practice before reaping any benefits. Long-term goals itself. Long-term goals, on the other hand, are a culmination of many short-term goals that are related to one another. Scattered short-term goals can end up being forgotten, not practiced thoroughly, not seen as useful, and will all around be messy. A long-term goal needs a proper foundation, the short term. The long term is subject to more variation in how long it needs to complete this goal. I could say 3 weeks to a couple months. Personally, my main long-term goal has a couple months to go after a couple months have already gone by. Different types of short and long-term goals. A simple but good example that highlights short-term goals building into the long-term is a spacey player practicing Shine. The long-term goal could be clean, effective, and versatile out of Shine. What are the short-term goals to achieve this? Each tech that could be practiced for even 5 minutes a day. Wave Shine up smash, well-timed dare shines, and jump shine, double jump, wave land onto side platform. As for the long-term, different long-term goals can come in plenty of shapes and sizes. One could be for a Fox player to be able to act out of Shine cleanly and reliably in many different ways and situations. A different long-term goal could be to really improve one's edgeguarding game in a matchup or versus the whole cast, as opposed to a short-term problem of how can I punish Marth's side B below ledge, or how can I set up to better punish Falco's side B onto Sage. Long-term goals need plenty of things to improve upon, and most areas of Melee have a lot of room for a long-term focus, like DI and SDI, comboing, neutral, tech skill mentality, and more. The Fox Shine example further illustrates that the length and refinement of the short-term goals is up to the player. A PR player likely will have a much higher standard for his basic tech than someone in their first few months of playing. On top of that, this long-term goal has the future of another long-term goal. Say after completing the first long-term goal, the next short-term things to practice to have a highly refined out-of-Shine game could be Shine turnaround up tilt, consistent double Shine options, precise wave dash links out of Shine, and so on. The importance of both individually and as a unit. The long-term is not the end-all be-all goal. Achieving one long-term goal is not enough, especially considering many long-term goals can be shorter than others. The main thing about long-term goals is to categorically improve one area of your game so you don't get lost putting in a ton of effort, misguided effort, into some random different areas. Tying short and long-term goals together. Now it's established that a long-term goal cannot exist without a handful of short-term goals. It can absolutely happen that a player has a few short-term things to practice but no sight for the bigger picture. Alternatively, they can see the big picture but not see a meaningful first step. If there's a tech skill you want or think is fun, say moonwalking, practice that. Have fun with it. While practicing it, you might realize you like movement aspects of the game and you can start painting the bigger picture of how you want to move. Contrary, if you want Zane level punish game with Marth, you're looking at the big picture. Start with what's more fun or interesting or even necessary. It could be learning pivot tipper after grab percents, hitting certain sword hitboxes consistently, or even learning more setups into a Ken combo. As long as you start somewhere and get going, you're doing good. How to set these goals. Better, more experienced players can likely juggle more sets of long-term goals than less experienced players. If you set just a single long-term goal, don't be discouraged thinking it's not enough. Fully learning the long-term goal is the main objective, and balancing these goals is a skill. As your skill for coordinating short-term goals and accomplishing the long-term improves, you can eventually take on another branch of long-term goals as well. The fact that some long-term goals can seem pretty connected, say tech skill and combos, can make it seem that you need to put in more effort and target more areas of your game. While it is not wrong to recognize areas you can improve and want to grind out more, it is far too easy to stretch yourself too thin and end up barely accomplishing anything. As for personal anecdotes, to start off, I'll say that anything you think you have down likely needs 20 to 40% more time. Many times I've thought I had tech skill down pat, but it just wasn't, let alone when I tried to introduce it in an actual game. These things take time. I recall late 2017, I arrogantly thought, I'm so good, blah blah blah, I can get this concept down in no time, which created a hugely false approach to improving that stuck with me until late 2018. I needed to rebuild my view on improving on something realistic and effective. I think I have a good grasp of that now, and I hope my past struggle can help anyone watching before you waste a year appealing to your ego. When you're improving, leave your ego at the door and trust the process. Conclusion. If you've watched this far, you likely think Melee is a masterpiece. Just like any artistic masterpiece, whether it's a crazy painting or a beautifully crafted fictional world. The process must be understood, respected, and nurtured. Without nurturing each little detail, we fail to give ourselves the chance for a crucial, in-depth focus of the bigger picture. That said, it's up to you to establish these little goals and to have a vision for your bigger picture. Trust the process and stay focused. You got it.